Good evening, everyone. I just want to make sure you can all see me and hear me okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. And everyone can see my screen, yes?
Well, I can. I can tell if anybody else can because
You
they
are
can't tell
speaking
me.
for everyone this evening. So, good. Hey, folks, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'm really excited because this is our last psychic hour of the 2024 year. And folks, the next time I see you, it's going to be 2025. I'm just absolutely in awe. Uh, you know, I can remember back in probably in the 1980s playing with my tarot cards with some friends and my astrology book and looking forward into the future and getting insights into what was going to be going on in 2025. And it really sounded to us like it was the end of time, like it was so far away that it would never, ever, ever happen. And here it is. We're on the brink of it. Okay. So this is just a very exciting time of life. And yeah, it's stressful and there's a lot going on. And in some ways it's fearful. But oh my God, isn't it amazing to be alive right now? There is, folks, we are at the dawn of a new age. This is just a very special time to be alive and to be here and to share in this birthing of a new period in the history of the world for all humankind. And we are all part of it. So welcome, folks. I'm glad to be here this evening. And I'm celebrating because, yes, it's the end of 2024, but it is the beginning of the new year. At least in my heart it is. So welcome. Um, Folks, I have a lot to discuss this evening, as you can see from all the stuff I've got here on my slide. But I wanted, before we even get started, I wanted to give our newcomers, because I do see a lot of new people here this evening, I wanted to give you an overview of how this works, how my psychic hour works. The way I do this is the psychic hour is always free. Um, and if you, I figure you're giving me your time just as I'm giving you my time. So if you are here for the entire hour and you stay until the end, even if I don't, or Lisa doesn't call on you to ask me a question directly tonight, we're going to give you until 9 p.m. tomorrow evening, Eastern time, to be able to email your simple question to me. So folks, everybody who's here is going to be able to ask one simple question. There'll be a handful of people that Lisa will call on that get to ask their question in person. And please, please, please listen to what their questions are in the comments and the things that my guides tell them, because my guides have a way of including you in what they're telling them. So a lot of times you're getting answers to your questions just by listening to another person who's getting a session or getting a question answered. Also, please follow this format, whether you get to ask your question here in person, and Lisa will pick on the people who are going to be called on. She does that randomly. And if you're going to email your question in, you can either email it to the address on this website that you signed in on, or you can email it to lisasainc@aol.com. Now, whether you ask your question in person here or whether you send it in via email, here's what I want to know. First, I want your first name, only your first, because we do publish this online, so just your first name is good. I want to know your sun sign, because armed with your sun sign, I can use this astrology chart that you see on the slide. It's a one-night throwaway chart. It's only for the people who are here this evening. But armed with this slide, I can give you all kinds of great information, including answering your question. Okay? So I want to know your first name and either your birth date or your sun sign. Either one will do. I want to know what you're most grateful for in life right now, because everything that is part of our future spins on our gratitude, on our ability to move through the world in a positive fashion. So I want to know what you're most grateful for right now. I'd love to know where you're from, and that could be whatever state you're in or whatever country you're from. And last, we'll do your simple question. And by the time we get all that done, I may have already answered it. That happens sometimes. Okay. Now, before we get started, you'll also, if you want to get called on for the session, you will need to raise your hand. And you do that just by clicking on the little hand you see on your screen. And that'll tell Lisa you want to ask your question. If you don't want to speak, but you still want to ask a question, you can type your question into the chat. And if Lisa calls on you, she'll read your question out for you. So sometimes people are shy and they want to ask you a question, but they don't want to talk. So we've got you covered. Okay, let me go and give you some housekeeping so that I can go over what's here on the screen. And then we're going to jump into asking your questions and figuring out what's going on in the world right now, and especially in your world. Okay, first of all, you've got the psychic hour tonight. Please make a note that the next psychic hour is January 26th, 2025. And yes, you're going to have to wait until January to go into my website, you'll see it up in the right-hand corner, sandyanastasi.com, www.sandyanastasi.com, to register. And I would, if all of them are there, just register for every one of them through the year, because they do fill up. And as long as you're registered and you get here early, you'll always be able to get in. Also, please note that we do have an app. Download the app to your phone. You and I both know that the internet is doing crazy things these days. I've been talking about that for a long time, but the apps are doing better. So if you have your app, you're going to be able to access our psychic hour pretty much no matter what's going on with the internet, as long as there is an internet, okay? I also want you to be aware, some of you aren't aware of this yet, that we do have a community. It's called an open community. And folks, it's just for you guys, okay? As soon as you signed up for my newsletter, which you had to do to be able to sign up to this free psychic hour, so you should already be accessing the newsletter. And as soon as you signed up for that, you automatically got your library that had our community, our open community in it. So you can go in that open community and you can ask me questions. You can talk to other people who are here tonight. You can tell your life story. You can do whatever you want on that open community. Lisa and I both monitor it, so we will see what gets posted there. And if you are studying something in metaphysics, or you have a funny story you want to share, or maybe you have some more comments about what we talk about tonight, you can go on there and continue the conversation right there in the open community. It's there for all of you. You are all already members. I also wanted to point out that my What's Coming in 2025 webinar that I did back, I think it was in late October, that is available for sale on my website. It's $25, so it's very inexpensive. If you didn't get to that webinar, you probably should go ahead and pay for and download that webinar, because you'll be re-accessing it all year long. It had a lot of great information. And just a note that if you do that now or all the way up through the end of January, you're going to get the gift of last year's webinar with it. Now, what you might ask me, why do I want 2024's, What's Coming webinar? Honestly, because it's very interesting. You kind of get to look and see, oh my God, look at all this stuff that was predicted that actually happened. And that way you're going to be able to look forward into this year and get a much better understanding of how to work with the information that came through. So that gift is mine to give to you right up through the end of January. After that, we will remove it. And if you purchase that What's Coming webinar, you'll just get that one year's webinar, just this the 2025. Okay, I also wanted to make a note. I always like to talk to our VIPs because I always see a lot of you here. Our next coaching call, just a reminder, it's going to be February 6th. So time is crunching. It's moving fast. It's not that far away. Okay. With our VIPs, I meet with the VIPs quarterly, and we have a coaching call with everybody who's a VIP who's able to attend. We have VIPs all over the world, folks. So not everybody is able to hit our time because of the time changes all over the planet. But everybody gets to access the 300 plus classes that are in the VIP, and also get a lot of other perks. And if you're interested in that, you can just go on over to my VIP page right on the website, and it'll tell you all about what the VIP is and what the advantages are for it. It's very inexpensive to belong to. I can tell you that. It's a good thing. Okay, over here in my highlighted red box, okay, we're only halfway through December. I'm coming out early with the just to stay out of the holidays, right? I'm coming out early with our psychic hour and early with my newsletter things, just so that you can really enjoy the holidays and not have all this other stuff that you want to be doing too. It's chaotic enough as it is, right? So our December holiday specials are going to go right up through the end of this month, all the way up through the 31st. So here they are again. I went over them with you last month. My reading slash coaching, I call it both because basically I'm doing both in this reading. You're going to get my year at a glance YAG reading special. It's only $300, folks. That's a great, great price. Now through December 31st, in the year at a glance reading, I go through month by month what's coming up for you, the major ups and downs, when finances will be an issue, when family issues will be happening, when you should be paying attention to what's going on with the kids. I go through month by month by month. What are the highs and what are the lows? What are the peak periods of energy for you? And everybody's is different. It's totally unique to you. I only have something like 5 spaces left. This is almost completely sold out. I don't do them at all after February 29th. And so we're already booking into February. Lisa, do we have a head count? Do we have 5 spaces left still?
5 or 6, and I am booking in February right now.
Yeah, so we're at the very tail end of the openings that we have. Once we get to February 29th, I will no longer do this reading because it doesn't make sense to do a whole year reading for you if the first 2 months of the year are gone. So we only have spaces going up through the 29th of January, and those spaces that we set aside for this reading are just about gone. So if it interests you, folks, jump on it ASAP because these will be gone before we get to January. Okay, my fall, second special, my fall 2024 membership drive, it continues. It's only $197 to join for the year. And when you do that before December 31st, you're going to get my MP4 video, What's on the Other Side, as a gift. Actually, that was during November. You could ask for it and I would give it to you. Or you get my 12 ways to open your own gifts, which is the one for December. So you could get either one of these until December 31st, or you could join at $20 a month, but then you won't get the gift. That offer to get the free gift and join the membership with the free gift, if you pay for the year in advance. And by the way, that's automatically renewable, that membership. So if you decide to cancel it, that you don't want it, you do have to cancel it. Otherwise, it automatically renews. But you still get to keep the gift. Okay. At any rate, it's either $20 a month, no gift, or it's $197 for the year, and it ends December 31st, that offer. Okay, my special number 3 is my early enrollment for the 2025 Psychic Development class. It begins January 29th, and the open enrollment is now, between now and the end of December 31st. These are the best discounts. Folks, let me emphasize this to you. If this interests you at all, if it's something that's on your bucket list, if your psychic abilities, like so many other people's, are awakening and you want to be able to control them, there is not a better program anywhere on the planet, at least not that I'm aware of, that will help you to open those gifts and develop them under the care and guidance of people who really, really care and are coming from the right place, which are Lisa and I. That class meets weekly from January through April, and you will start from the very beginning, which is basically knowing nothing, maybe having a lot of psychic capability. Everybody is psychic, and we'll take you all the way up through being able to do mediumship readings. And without sounding egotistical, folks, my program is known all over the world. It has trained directly or indirectly more professional psychics than any other program on the planet. And I'm including the famous mediumship schools and everything else in England and other parts of the world. This is the Cadillac of all of the programs. And I don't usually, uh, you know, blow my own horn that way, but I'm not. I'm blowing my guides' horn because they're the ones who teach through me. The thing is, if you're sitting on the fence about it, it's time to get off and do it. Time's running short. We all need those skills and abilities right now. Our world is waking up, and you need to wake up those skills and abilities with that. At any rate, if it interests you, if you want to know more about it, you can go to my website and take a look. You can read over the things that come out in my next newsletter. You can talk to Lisa about it, but make up your mind now, because before December 31st, you get the specials, the extra enrollment, early enrollment specials, which gives you essentially a whole one level and a half for free. Okay, it's that good a discount. So what can I say? I could discourage you and say, well, wait until after January so to get more money from you. That's not where I'm at. I want to, this is the best. You get what you pay for. Stop sitting on the fence. If you want to develop your psychic skills, sign up before December 31st. Now, if you don't do it before December 31st and January hits and you say, oh my God, I forgot to go sign up. Nobody knows about this except you guys. For those first 2 days of January, January 1st and 2nd, I will give you $100 discount with a code that you're going to find on my website. It's not there now, but it will be there then. Okay. And that's the best I can do, because at that point, we're in the regular pricing and all of the special early enrollment opportunities will be gone. Right now, we're also offering a 2-pay option. So you could pay half of it in December and half in January and still get all the perks. Once we get to the end of December, that 2-pay option will no longer be there. The only way you can get a pay over time option would be by paying through PayPal or something like that, or a credit card and paying over time. Okay, so just be aware of all that. I know money is very important to all of us, so we try to make it available. Oh, and I should also tell you that we do have on this class, I don't do this for most of my classes, but on this class, the class is so good. I don't think I've ever given a refund to somebody, but if you get partially through that first part of the series, the first class in the series, and you say, no, this is just not for me. I just don't like it. It's not what I want. That could be your only reason. We're going to refund you all of the classes you have not taken so far, but you've got to make your mind up in that first class, which is over the first 3 weeks. Okay. So yeah, we've got you covered. Okay, in January, here are the specials. Since I'm not going to be, the year at a glance is available until the spots are gone, but I'm assuming they're going to be gone by January. So what I'm putting in is a what's coming in the next 6 months reading special, and that's $350. And you can book that in January, and you can schedule it for any time all year until December 31st. And it'll go for 6 months after the time you're reading. So the month of your reading will be the first month we're looking at. And I already told you about if you missed the early enrollment, getting $100 off. And I guess that's it. Oh, I skipped something up here. This month in December, I'm offering my 6-session reading coaching package. It's available this year because I have room to take on a couple of more clients. It's $1,900 before December 31st, which gives you a savings of $200. Folks, what my reading coaching package does is it gives you 6 sessions that you can book throughout the year whenever you want. You are guaranteed. If you have to move a session, you are guaranteed to be able to get into another spot. You come first, okay? And also, this is giving you a discount on what the readings would be if you book them separately. It's about the only way that you can get multiple sessions with me throughout the year. I call it reading coaching. It's really coaching, but when you get coaching with my guides and my guides are future-oriented astrologers. So you get world-class coaching with me and my guides. And of course, that's predictive in nature. So my guides are helping you to move in the direction you choose to go and being able to recognize what the pitfalls are that are lying ahead. So it's what can I say? I have a lot of coaching clients, and that's why it is a phenomenal tool. So, and I have just a couple of spots left on that. Okay, folks, I'm ready to jump into readings. Lisa, who's our first person this evening?
All righty, our first person tonight is going to be Rachel. Rachel, can you unmute?
Hello,
Can you hear me?
Rachel. Yes.
Hello, Sandy.
Hi, Rachel. How are you?
I'm doing great. So my name's Rachel. I'm from
Uh,
South Carolina. I am a Cancer, and I am probably most grateful for my husband right now.
oh, that's lovely. You know, that makes me feel good because one of the things that I know, because I get this glimpse into the future, is one of the most important things in our world right now is having those people who are so special to us that they give us support and we give them support. And, you know, for
Yeah.
some of us, it's a husband or a wife, and for others, it's a good friend or a partner. It's really, really important to have that special person to share and to move forward with and to be mutually supportive of. So I'm really grateful too that you have that person. That's wonderful. And
Absolutely.
what's
Thank
your
you.
sun sign?
I'm a Cancer.
Okay, you did tell me that. Okay. And as it happens, you see, I don't know if you can see my cursor up here. I'm moving it
Yes.
along the blue. Okay, that moon is in the sign Cancer.
Hmm.
Okay. So as it happens, cancers tend to be extremely sensitive to where the moon is. I'm sure since you are a Cancer, you've already noticed that.
Yes.
And so here you are, you're a Cancer, and the moon tonight is in Cancer, and you called and you get called on for a reading. How nice is that? Okay.
Hmm.
We also know that, tonight, this is a very emotional time for you right now. And
Yes.
you are trying really, really hard to process all of those emotions very mentally, very intellectually, to really kind of keep you cool and think things through. And my guides are saying you are doing a really good job of it. Okay. Um,
Okay.
the thing is that you also need, in order to make the choices that are on your plate, and I do see a lot of decisions in terms of your life direction. I'll
Yeah.
explain in a moment. But in order to make those right decisions, my friend, it's not me or even my guide you have to listen to. It's your own inner self, your own, I call it your inner guidance system. Um,
Yeah.
when you pay attention to your feelings, and I'm not talking about your emotions here, I'm talking about the way you feel about things. When you are moving in the right direction, you get this feeling of, oh yeah. When you're moving in the wrong direction, you get this feeling of, oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're paying close attention to how you feel, so go ahead and make your mind up, whatever, any direction you want. Initially, it doesn't even matter. Just make your mind up, get off the fence. And the instant you do that and mentally take that footstep in one direction, if it's the right one, you're going to feel, oh, yeah. If it's the wrong one, you're going to be, oh, no. You got it?
Okay.
That's probably the best advice that anybody ever gave me. Okay.
Okay.
Meanwhile, let me take a closer look at the astrology chart. Okay. As a Cancer, see, this, by the way, is in this house, Cancer's in the 11th house part of it and the 12th house. So this is telling me that, yeah, you're getting a really good handle on your emotions and you are using an intuitive guidance system. Okay.
Okay.
And you're also paying attention to your dreams because this 12th house is dreams and you're facing a whole lot of your fears right now. Okay. And the
Hmm.
big thing that gets in the way of your inner self, that guidance system, is all those fears that you're dealing with. I want to just say just a moment about those fears. Um, in case you haven't noticed, folks, if you turn on the television or public radio, if you read the newspaper, everything is be afraid of this, be afraid of this, be afraid of this. Oh no, oh no, oh no, this happened, this happened. Oh, and now the biggest thing of all, there are drones happening all over the place, and man, they might be shooting death rays at us. And have you come to an understanding that for whatever reason, there are a whole lot of powers out there that want you and I to be afraid. Have you figured that out yet? Okay.
Yeah.
And, God blessed me with this extremely resistive personality. Somebody says, be afraid. And I say, not on your life. Okay. Now, mind you, if they didn't say that, I probably would be afraid. But the more they push, the more I resist. It's just who I am. Okay. So I'm going to say to you that yes, we have a lot of stuff going on in our world. Yes, there are things to be worried about and frightened about. But please wait until you have more information and search that information out in every respect, whether it's talking about drones or whether it's talking about where you should get your next job. Okay? There are fear factors coming at us from every direction, both in our greater world and also in our personal world. And what I want to ask everyone, including you, is to feel that inner guidance system inside, not what's coming at you from out here. Feel what's happening in here. Shut the stuff out there off. Feel what's coming in your heart. Take a deep breath, center, calm yourself. If you have a pet, play with your dog or your cat a little bit. Hug your husband. Have some fun. Tell some jokes with each other. Watch a comedy on your recorded television. Okay? I.e., shut the world out. And then
Okay.
listen to that internal guidance system. And what is it telling you? Is it telling you, yeah, now's the right time to move? No, stay put. It's okay. Just be where you're at. What's it telling you? Because here's your truth right in here. This is the truth. Okay? The truth
Okay.
right now, folks, unfortunately, is not out there. It's in here. Okay?
Okay.
And it is a good idea to talk to that significant other of yours to get him on the same page as you, not necessarily in agreement with you, but in also listening to his intuition. Okay? Very,
Okay.
very important. That way you've got two people, or maybe you've got a family of people that are starting to really think for themselves and get in touch with what's really important to you. And once you know where you want to go, the universe is really interesting. Once you've made your mind up, all of a sudden your guides, yes, you have guides too, all of a sudden your guides kick in and say, okay, we'll clear the way. And everything falls into place so easily. But they aren't going to tell you what to do until they know what you want. Because there are
Okay.
always multiple possibilities, always. There's never one direction in life that you can go. There are usually at least 30 or 40 directions. And, and then we pare them down to two or three. And finally, we're down to two, and we've got to choose one. And your guides aren't going to mess with you. They're going to say, whatever you want to do, we're going to support. But once you make that decision, yes, they will be there and things will happen easily and smoothly for you. And that's not just for you, hon. That's for everybody on this call. That's for all of us. Most of the time when people get screwed up and confused, it's because they're outer directed, not inner. You can't make up your mind because you're trying to figure out what your husband might want, even though you haven't asked him yet. Okay?
Right. Right.
It's that kind of
Okay.
sitting on the fence that messes us up. In the same house as your moon, you have this Jupiter, which talks about travel, relocation, taking a trip. So there's got to be something here that you're thinking about doing that involves a pretty big change. And that Jupiter here it opposes the Sun and Mercury that are in the fifth house. So if you have children or grandchildren, you might be or a family, you might be looking at, okay, I want to do all these things for myself. These are things I promised myself, but I don't want to upset the apple cart here either. And I certainly don't want to upset things with what's going on in my significant other's family, because we actually have things pretty good, and I don't want to mess with his situation. um, this Cancer moon has a hard aspect both to the North Node and Chiron over here in the House of Travel. And it also has a hard aspect over here to the House of Learning and Foundation Education and also travel. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the focal point comes out into your having to do what you want to do creatively. So you're being told, and I think you're gradually working your way around to it, but you've been having a little struggle with it. You're being told to think out of the box. You've been told that you can have what you want. Your guides are telling this. You can have what you want, but you've got to do some creative planning. It can't, you're not going to be able to take a direct route to get what you want, is what I'm saying. You're going to have to be creative about it. And you do have a lot of creative ability. The luck, I keep hearing that word luck, is with you. Things are going to move smoothly, but you've got to get off the fence. And then you have to be open to suggestion to figure out what's going to be the right path to your goal, because it will be circumspect. It is not going to be direct. Okay. Now, I want to show you a couple of things. I pulled this card, which the tarot card, I'm using the Rider-Waite deck. That is the Seven of Cups, which talks about choices, having to make choices. And sometimes the hardest choices of all to make are the ones where you think you want it all, but you can't be sure which one is going to work out best. And that indecision can freeze you. And meanwhile, any one of those choices could be great, any one could be bad, because you just can't know everything about them, which is why you have to really trust your gut. Now, I have a new deck. I hope you like this card. Doesn't that deck look like it's exactly where you are right now? Kind of looking at that maze and scratching your head and saying, okay, which way do I go? Right? I pulled that card just before you asked your question, and just before we had this little discussion, and
Hmm.
I designed that card. I just made my first deck, okay?
Oh, that's awesome.
So I hope you like it. And
I
you
love it.
are the first person who's ever had one of those cards pulled for you,
That's
okay?
great.
It's a Kabbalah transformation deck. It is not a traditional tarot card deck at all. It really is made for questions just like yours, big life-changing questions. And
Yeah.
this is saying, you know, uh, you're about to begin a new path in life. And that's why it
Okay.
feels so important, because it is. But all paths are going to lead you to your ultimate destination. You just have to decide which path you want, which scenery do you want to see? That's really what it amounts to. So what is your
Oh,
specific question?
oh my goodness, Sandy. Wow. Okay. Okay. So I'm having to reframe my question because, oh my goodness, all the things. Yes, all of the things. I was going to ask about like direction and career because my husband, like we're trying to decide what I'm, anyway, we were talking about moving, but my daughter's in school, so we can't move until my daughter's out of school. It's like all of the things that you were talking about. Um, so I guess my question is this, can, so I think I have two guides that I know of. And can they give your guides to tell me, like, I want to learn to connect with them better. Can they give me something that will help me discern better between the yes and the no's? Because my anxiety, just like you were talking about before, does get in the way. And I can't always discern, is this a yes or is this a no? Because that gets in the way. So is there a signal they could give me? Is there a word they could tell you to tell me that will help me discern better?
You're going to not like what I'm going to tell you, but you're also going
Okay.
to know the truth.
Okay.
It's not a symbol. It's not a yes or a no. I mean, you can, you play with the tarot cards. You can use the
I
tarot
do.
cards if you want. You play with the pendulum. You can use the pendulum if you want to. Although if you use the pendulum, please protect first. That can be dangerous when you're asking
Okay.
those kinds of questions. Um, the thing is that even when you get those yeses and nos, you don't trust it. You
I don't.
second guess yourself. So
Yes.
the real determination for you is breath. Don't you love it? And
Okay.
somewhere down the road, when you get better at it, it's going to be actual meditation. But even now, just everybody here, do this with me. Take a very deep breath. And when you take the breath, I want you to breathe in. And as you breathe in through your nose, if your nose is clogged, I don't care, breathe in through your mouth. But open your chest, feel your chest expanding. Now drop your diaphragm and feel your rib cage expanding. Now stick your tummy out and feel your tummy expanding. That's called a great breath in yoga. Now reverse it and pull your tummy in, begin to push it out. Pull your rib cage in, pull it up, and breathe it out through your chest. Okay? That is called a great breath. Now do that again. I'll guide you again, and then we're going to do it a third time. The third time you're going to do it on your own. So again, breathe in, ideally through the nose and mouth if you need to. So breathe in, expand your chest, expand your diaphragm, drop your diaphragm so you can get all that air into your behind your rib cage. Stick your belly out. Feel your whole upper torso being filled with beautiful life force air. Now turn it around and pull the tummy in and pull the rib cage in and feel the lungs depressing as you breathe it all the way out. And now do the last great breath on your own, everybody together. Now, how does your head feel?
Bigger?
Mm-hmm. Does your mind feel clearer?
Yes.
How does your anxiety level feel?
Less.
Uh-huh. Now, mentally, take your hands and mentally grab the energy all around you, because now you can actually feel the difference between the energy that pushes at you and your own, right? And
Yeah.
breathe out and push your own aura out. Expand it.
Hmm.
You feel clearer too, don't you?
Yes.
Now you know where you begin and the world ends. And the world's not pushing at you so much anymore. Now you can feel that yes or no. And when you turn, what I told you in the beginning, when you turn your attention towards the decision, when you think of making that move now, how does your heart feel?
Excited.
Okay. When you think of not making that move right now, how does your heart feel?
Like heavy, like disappointed,
Okay.
like trapped.
Uh-huh. So guess what? You're thinking that you have to wait a year or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years until your daughter is at the certain level of school so that you can make the move that you and your husband want to make.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And the reason when you turn your attention towards stay that your heart drops is that you have no idea really how long, how many other things will get in the way, how many things will stop you.
Yeah.
When you think of make this move now and you get this feeling of joy and excitement, it doesn't feel blocked, does it?
Right.
Okay. Did it
Yeah.
ever occur to you that there were good schools in a lot of places
Yeah. This is true.
and that there are probably even better friends in the new place than there were in the old?
Right.
So ask the same thing I did with you, do with your husband. Lead him through it. See what he
Okay.
comes up with.
Okay.
Because remember what my guides told you is that once you set your mind up, they're going to make it happen smoothly and easily for you.
Okay.
They haven't been able to do that because I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. They say, okay, we'll wait for you. We're not in any rush.
Right. Right. Right.
You have to be the leader. And
Okay.
it's not important to them. I know this sounds mean, but it's not important to them really whether you stay there or whether you move. They're still your guides, they're still with you. They want you to be happy. They want you to achieve your goals. They want your husband to achieve his goals. So they're going to support you no matter what you do. But they can't give you the information you're looking for now because you're waffling.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
That was a great way to start the hour. Folks, what you're beginning to understand is that this is what I was trying to talk about at the beginning of our session when I was pushing my psychic development classes. We need intuition right now. We desperately need it. When we cannot trust the world around us, when we cannot trust the people that we used to put our faith into, or that we, think of as the authorities in our world, when we really, really recognize that we have to be self-responsible in every respect, well, we also have to be able to trust our own intuition. Because when it comes down to the actual decision about your life direction and the major things in your life, those decisions must be made intuitively. Then the means to achieve them can be done intellectually. They can be done by researching. They can be done by gathering the people around you that you need to make that step. But the actual decision, that always has to be done by connecting with your heart. Okay. Lisa, who's next?
Our second person tonight is going to be Kimberly. Kimberly,
Hello,
can you hear me?
Kimberly.
Oh, hi. This is Kim,
Dear.
Newfoundland, Canada. And I'm grateful for, I think, about everything, my family, friends, and community. My question is, I'm Aries too, so I
Okay,
better not.
now before we get to your question, because that's going to shut down, that's going to funnel me into the question instead of looking at the big picture. So let's save the question. But as an Aries, I'm putting my cursor right up here. I'm sure you can see it. It's in that ninth house. Aries starts in the tail end, 3 degrees on the ninth cusp. So it starts in the eighth house and goes into the ninth, where we have the North Node and Chiron. So you are entering into a very healing time. Matter of fact, you've been in it for a while. A lot of things around you are taking place right now. And that could be around yourself. It could also be people that you know and care for, and the life direction you're choosing. Um, the South Node opposes that Aries. Aries is a cardinal sign, just like Cancer was a cardinal sign. So you have this opposition going on here, which is natural because the South Node always opposes that North Node. But it makes you kind of feel a little bit like you're on a, kind of like on a seesaw. You're having, I think, I don't want to say a lot of trouble. You're just balancing. You're doing a constant balancing act. And whether that's in keeping people happy or in splitting your time between two different places, but there's a lot of balancing going on. You also tie into that T square that comes with that moon in Cancer. And for you, the energy is also coming out into the house and the sign that rules children. So children are important in your world as well. But what's interesting is there's a beautiful little trine here between the Sagittarius planets in the fifth house and the Aries planets in the ninth house. So you could very well be seeing your children if you have them. You could be entering into a new romance or rekindling an old romance, which is kind of nice. There's a lot of emphasis in your world right now on relationships of all kinds and especially on communication. Before you ask your specific question, my card, this is my deck that I pulled for you. This goes along with the 14th path, and doesn't that look beautiful? I hope you can see it on
Oh, yes,
there.
I do.
And
Hmm.
this is probably the closest my deck would come to the soulmate card. It talks about in a connecting with another person, coming into connectivity with that person that is on the same wavelength as you. And if it's only within yourself, it talks about you being able to achieve and connect with those things which are your dreams that you really want to achieve. And there it is, it's this merging with this higher part of yourself that says, yes, it's now, the time is now. So what is your specific question?
Okay, I was going to mention community. Community is a big thing for me. Working within the community, volunteering within the community, and perhaps moving and still working in a new community. So that's where I want to go around the question around that community and moving.
Moving, here we go again. It's interesting that you and a prior caller, both cardinal signs, both wanting to move, both having resistance in your world that needs to be resolved in some way in order to be able to make that move. I'm going to say to you the same thing that I said to our prior caller, that the only way that you can really get in touch with the timing of that move is to do that deep breathing I showed you and go into your own heart center and say, where do I need to be? And the answer should come from within you, not from
Yeah.
your friends or your circle around you. It should come from
Yeah.
within you. I just see, you know, there's so much opposition to you. And it's not just in terms of, gee, I'd like to move. The opposition is in almost every aspect of your life. It's almost like if you say to your best friend, let's go and have Italian for lunch today. She says, gee, I thought we could do seafood. You know, it's the simplest things. It's almost like every single thing that you want to do, as soon as you put the thought out there, you have people around you that are saying, well, hold that. I want to do this first. Okay. So you've got to ask, and this has been happening for a long time, probably because you're easygoing and you're a nice person. But you've got to ask, do you really want to put all of your wants and needs after everybody else's? Because that line is getting longer and longer and longer. Everybody else with their hand out. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, I can't tell you what to do. That's up to you. That's part of your own growth. But I can point out to you that that can go on for a very long time until you, right now, if you follow the old pattern, your normal pattern would be to react to the voice that's louder than all the others, that's saying you have to do that, and that's what you will end up responding to, and you'll end up moving when you meet that person who says you have to come here because I need you, and then you'll feel justified with making that move. So your normal way of behaving would be reactive. But let me ask you, are you happy with that, or would you prefer to take charge for a change? What do you
I like
feel?
to church. Actually, I had an opportunity to move in September, but the
Mhm.
situation wasn't right, which I have to agree because it just wouldn't have happened. Uh, but I had a dream not long ago about either moving February for March or March for April. So I'm hoping to be moving then. I'm hoping the situation will all line
It
up.
looks, it looks like you might want to move in February, but it doesn't look like it's going to pan out.
Okay.
March would be a better time. April is also possible, but you might actually start the move in March and complete it in April. It might work that way.
Okay.
Um, when you refer to you had a opportunity to move previously, that would have worked out. It would have. The big thing is to put the thought out there
Yeah.
without the resistance, okay? Because
Okay.
you're that person that for whatever reason you're generating resistance around you. And it's not really coming from outside of you, it's coming from inside of you.
Okay.
So it's like, are you deciding I need to move? Oh, something's going to go wrong, because then certainly it will.
Yeah. Okay.
So you got to get out of your own way and recognize that all those voices of resistance around you really are yourself getting in your own way. If you're feeling good enough about yourself to say, this is what I want to do, I'm doing it, and I'm doing it now. Once you
Okay.
get to
Yeah.
that, everything will be smooth.
Yeah. Because I got a high standard. So.
Yeah. Well, there's only two reasons that people are born into the sign Aries. The first one, the most important one, is that usually you've spent many, many, many lifetimes of not asserting yourself, of not um, putting yourself to the limits to see what you're capable of. So in this life, you get to be born as an Aries because you need that lesson. You need to put yourself first. Keep that in the back of your mind.
Okay.
Okay. It's not easy, is it?
Nope.
Thank you so much and good luck with everything. I know it's going to work out for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Lisa, who's our next person?
Our third person for tonight is going to be Elvira. Elvira, can you unmute?
Oh,
Hello
hello.
there. I can hear you barely. Can you speak up or get closer to the mic?
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay. That was fascinating about the Aries sun souls.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, so my sun sign is Leo, and I'm most grateful for my dog and 3 cats.
Oh, you're like me. You have a menagerie. And where are you from?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Cold up there now. More power to
Uh,
you. You're going to
it
have a
is.
white Christmas. Yep. Okay,
Yeah.
let me take a look here because as a Leo, we have the ascendant here on the chart where my cursor is. You can see it in Leo, and Mars is here also. So, oh my goodness, there's a lot happening. I have a feeling that you're going to have the whole family landing on you at Christmas time. It has that like, wow, there's a lot of commotion around you. I also am seeing you're dealing with a lot of fears and worries right now. And that could be just in general because so much is going on in our world that's stressful. Or it could be that, you're looking at certain people that have health issues. I say health because across the chart in the health house, we have Pluto directly opposing that Mars. And we also, just north of that, we have Venus also opposing that Mars. You see that? So it looks like there's somebody who's recently had a health issue. You're worried about the flare up. You're worried about how's all this going to work out. Can I please ask you to stop worrying? Can you do that?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll, I'll
Um,
try.
here's the problem with worrying, folks. Um, thought, we all know because we've studied Abraham, right? We all know that thoughts are what creates our universe, right? But what powers the thought? Emotion, right? So when you really, really get worried about something, you're taking this worry and you're powering it with your emotion and you're making it happen. Did you consider that?
Not
So
until the second.
yeah, so instead of worrying about how Christmas Day is going to go and who's going to be there, project. We're going to have this great, wonderful time. I'm going to have this great dinner, and all the people I love are going to be there, and everybody's going to get along. You project that, make it happen. Okay. And instead of worrying about the recurring health issue, and I don't know if that's for your maid or for one of your mothers, but instead of worrying about that, say, I am so grateful that that person, whoever they are, has such enormous resilience that even when they get sick, they recover, they recuperate, they do great. I am so grateful for that. Are you hearing me? You
Yeah.
are you are a manifester. Change those thoughts. Change the worry to a wow. Okay. And you'll be
Okay.
amazed at how much more smoothly everything in your world goes. Okay. Leo is a fixed sign. The other fixed signs are Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. And you'll notice we have another fixed, this is a fixed T square, but it's another T square. Leo squares, that's a hard aspect, Uranus. Uranus squares, another hard aspect, this Venus and Pluto. So there's your T, okay? And that T exits into the house of home and family. So there's a mother figure you're worried about. You're worried about what's happening with the home. You're worried about can you stay or do you have to move? You're worried about the money and the home and the family and everybody else's money. Oh man, do you realize how much you worry?
I know.
Now think of how much fun it's going to be to work on changing all those worries into wows. Okay, you can do it.
I
Okay,
like
what's your
that.
specific question?
So wows. Um, okay, well, it kind of ties into what you just said. I do have some health issues and I have an upcoming procedure. It's like elective procedure. It's like a spinal tap or a lumbar puncture, it's called. And I am worried of like all the complications that could happen because my spine is not aligned like most people's. So right away I'm starting to think like, what if the doctor does something wrong and I get permanent nerve damage and my mind is just spiraling out of control. So my question is, if I do go to this procedure on Friday, will there be any complications or will it go smooth?
Okay, that's a good question. Will there be complications if you go for the procedure? My guide is saying yes, there will be. Will those complications be life-threatening? Notice I'm asking questions for you. They're saying no. Will those complications be something that causes disability in the future? And I'm getting a yes, a little bit. Okay. Will it be something which you are going to be able to, get past with therapy and medication and so forth? And I'm getting a no. Okay. So I'm going to ask you, never mind what my card said and my guide said, and that'll be on the recording. You can hear that later when it goes up on YouTube and Lisa sends you the link. But I want you to feel into your own heart, do the breathing, push the aura out so that it's only you in that space, not everybody else. And listen to what your heart says. Does your inner self say, yes, I need this? How do you feel about that going forward? Never mind what anybody said, never mind projections. You don't have to think. When you get in touch with your heart, there's no thought there, there's no brain. It's just feeling. Okay? Think about, if I have that procedure, what's life on the other side of that feel like? Tell me.
Not good. I
Okay.
I feel like I don't even really need it.
Okay. Then here's what I was going to say to begin with. Okay. That over here on the other side of the chart, we have this Pluto in Aquarius, which says to me that there may be alternatives, alternative treatments. There may be, as you say, no need if you don't have any real problem. Have you had several doctors look at this? Have you got different opinions, is what I'm asking.
Not yet.
Okay, my suggestion would be to postpone the surgery for a lot of reasons. One, personally, and this is just Sandy talking, I avoid surgery right around the holidays because there's too many people taking off, the nurses are taking off, everybody's brain is every place else except on you. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would be inclined to reschedule that surgery for sometime in January, even if you have it, so that people's brain is in what they're doing and on you where it should be. But I also would get at least two more opinions. And my feeling is that whatever tests and so forth were done are probably okay. You can just take all that. If you have a medical test done, that test belongs to you. So you should be able to get x-rays or whatever they've done and bring them to another doctor and get a second opinion and a third opinion. Get three, okay? And then you
Okay.
make a decision from that. And remember that what your inner self said is, I don't think I need this, okay? But I still believe in doctors. So he might be right. Let's get several other opinions before we jump to that, okay?
Yeah. Oh, I'm
I,
so relieved.
well, when you feel, that's what I was going to ask you. When you feel into what your heart says, what's the feeling? Like a
Right.
relief, like something was lifted from your shoulders.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
get those
thank you
little.
so much.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And good luck to you because I feel like whatever you choose to do, it will be the right thing. But you do need those other opinions, and then you'll feel really solid about what can be done.
Yeah.
I watched not making this up, folks. I took quantum touch several years back with a practitioner in Tampa, Florida, who was teaching it. Quantum touch is a kind of a laying on of hands that works with breath work. And as a graduation gift, okay, he had all 20 of the people in the class come in to his backyard where he had a massage table set up. And he had a young man come in for us to work on. And we all worked on him at the same time using this breathing technique and our laying on of hands. The young man had a C curve in his spine that was so severe that his hip bone was almost touching his lower rib. In order to walk straight, he had to have a 6-inch lift under one shoe. And needless to say, everybody was going to say this guy needed surgery. Well, everybody gathered around and we followed our teacher in using this quantum touch technique. And it was amazing because at the end of about 15 minutes, the guy sat up and stood up and we put magic markers on his back and the spine had completely straightened out. It was like, how the heck did that happen? So there are techniques. There are other things. Not everything requires surgery, is what I'm saying. But do trust the doctors. Just get that second and third opinion. And if you think about doing something holistic like quantum touch or something else, then work with a doctor. I still work with a medical doctor, but work with a medical doctor that's open to massage therapy or quantum touch and says, okay, let's follow some of these techniques before we go for the knife. Okay. So there are options. Leave yourself that knowledge. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sandy.
You're welcome. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to take just one more. We're going to be a little bit over time tonight. That's going to be my gift to you for the holidays. Lisa, who's going to be our last caller for this evening?
Okay, the last caller is going to be Julina. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Julina, can you mute?
Yeah, hi, Sandy. This is Gulina.
Oh, hi, it's Gulina. Yes, I
Yes,
know you.
you know what? I actually start with what I'm thankful for is just that I'm alive. And I know this 2025 is going to be an amazing year for everyone on the earth. It's a new beginning. That's how I see.
I'll say it is a super new beginning. Absolutely.
Yes. So my
And so, and
zodiac
what's your
sign,
sun sign, Gulina? Did you tell me?
Leo. Leo.
Leo. Okay, so much of what I just said to our last caller is gonna hold true for you as well. What is your specific question?
Okay, my specific question is I am planning to buy a property. I today this afternoon I went to see the property, love the property. I felt like I could, use it. I mean, use it for my meditation purposes and everything. That's what my end goal is. Where I'm getting stuck is the my realtor called me and they're like there are four other buyers who are putting cash down. And I am like, okay, I love the property. This is first time in 8 months I like something. But the cash they're putting, everybody's putting cash down and they are being very aggressive. So my question is, what do you see?
Well, obviously there's a bidding war, and I don't know
Yes.
anything about real estate, so I don't know how these things work other than that there's a bidding war going on. When I asked my guides, is it possible that you're going to be able to outbid everybody else and get this property? And my guides are saying yes, it is. But I can't give you the how-tos. Your realtor has to do that. What is your realtor telling you?
So what she's saying is the asking price, whatever this is, they're putting me like she's telling me you have to put 30 or 40 grand more. My challenge is like I'm a state employee. I mean state of California employee. I don't make a whole lot. So how am I supposed to even come up with that down payment? Right? It's not 20%. She's making me pay 30 or 40% down payment. So that's kind of scaring me. I'm like, how am I supposed
Your realtor
yeah.
is giving you accurate advice, though. She truly
Mm,
is.
yeah.
Okay. Um, so the my guides are saying that what's happening here is that again we've got this is a theme for tonight. We've got that division between the heart and the brain. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Your heart is saying that I've looked for 8 months to find a property. All of a sudden I see the property. I know that this is the right property, but it's going to put me over the limit of what I was able to spend. The first thing that comes to my mind via my guides is that they're saying that you need to check back with your bank and let them know, because I'm sure you've looked at what you could how much you, whether or not you could qualify for a mortgage, et cetera, et cetera. The next thing to do is to look back to your bank and say, okay, will the bank give me a mortgage for this extra amount of money? You see?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that's the big thing. If you can get the money from the bank, we're moving into a future where, and I can't give you timing. This is one of the things that I've been very frustrated with my guides, and they're just as frustrated. I can't give you timing. As I always say, there's too many hands in the soup. Every time they think they're the next step, a whole bunch of other things have to get done and it gets delayed. But when everything falls out, when everything gets smooth, there's going to be mortgage forgiveness. So if you have a mortgage that's out there through the roof, guess what? It's going to either get paid off or the interest rate will be dropped so far down that it will become affordable. Okay.
True. True.
So we
Yeah.
know in the long term, you're going to be okay. But you might need over this next 2 years, 3 years to be able to make those mortgage payments. So you and your husband, your kids, you're going to need to get together and say, okay, the bank is willing to give me this much of a mortgage, but I'm going to need help to pull through. And I can't tell you how long that's going to be, but I know it won't be forever. I know it's, and by the way, this is something I've been telling my clients and you guys for a long, long time, because my guys have told me about all this stuff for a long time, and they haven't been able to give timing. All I can tell you is that we are getting closer and closer and closer. Trump has already said that when he gets in, he's going to put a ceiling on credit cards, that
Mhm.
you're not going to have a higher than a 10% interest rate on your credit card. He hasn't mentioned anything at all about mortgages. However, we're seeing moves towards the entire banking system completely collapsing and being redesigned. What happens to your mortgage if the banking system goes awry? Guess what? The mortgage gets forgiven. So we're
Mhm.
seeing these things happening, but we can't get the timing on when it's going to happen. So I'm going to tell you to do exactly what I did with the other callers. Feel in here. When you feel, if I can get the mortgage, if I can get the bank to agree to the higher mortgage, how does it feel about taking that on and making it work, scrubbing, working extra hours if I have to get through that next year or so until I can actually say this is going to be mine? How does that
Right,
feel?
Sandy. No, it feels
And
good, and I feel like the divine blessing, like the divine's hand is like I'm on that divine's palm. Like that's how I feel right now. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
When you say that, I have this. Yeah, I feel. I mean, I'm getting a little bit teary right now, like little emotional. But I feel like this is one of the blessings I have. Like I'm protected, and whatever is going to happen, it will be for my best.
The
For my
big
best.
thing you're going
Yeah.
to have to worry about is number one, getting the bank to give a mortgage, and
Hmm.
number two, getting whatever help you're going to need to bridge the difference between what you know you can pay easily to what you can't. You might have to tighten the belt a lot. You might have to cut out those dinners out. The thing is, it's a finite length of time. It's not forever.
Yes. Yes.
And that's the thing. Are you willing in that situation? Are you willing? Knowing
Yes.
that prices are what they are in California, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we also know there's a ceiling on this and the correction is coming.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. No. Good point. Good point, and really profound what you said today.
Well,
Yeah. I.
and I want to
Mhm.
tell you the card, my card that I picked for you is this one. Okay.
Oh.
And this card, in the traditional tarot deck, this looks like the Wheel of Fortune. It's not. This is actually Path 17. It's a Kabbalah path working transformation card. And it says that this is, in many respects, it is your bridge to a new life, an old life
Yes.
ending, new life beginning. And I think you
Yes.
understand what I mean when I say that. Okay. So it's big. It's a big, big, big step. And I can't tell you what to do. The realtor can't tell you what to do. The bank can't tell you what to do. But honestly, take the steps to see if you can make it happen. And then once you've actually figured out yes or no, okay, feel in your heart. What does your heart say? Okay.
Hmm.
And that's how you should handle that.
My heart says it's going to work out in the long term because that's what my heart says. It's just that what you're saying does resonates. Like first 2 years, I have to cut back. Being a single girl, I don't have any partner or anything, no significant other. I'm the only one who makes a decision, and I'm the creator. I feel like I'm the manifestor. I create my world, right? So 2025 is going to be my year, and everything is going to be aligned. That's how I see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and and be a realist about it. It may be that
Yes.
until all this settles out, that you have to have a second job to make that income work. Can you do it?
Right.
Do you want to do it? Do you care about this enough to do it? These are all things, these are all the intellectual things that you need to think about, but let your heart make the decision. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Not your desire, not your, ooh, gimme, gimme, gimme. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that inner self, that heart. When you push everything else out and you look at the end result, me in that house, on that property, How does it feel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Right.
if that's what you want, you're going to be able to manifest it. And we do know that these changes are happening in the world, big, big, major changes, but you have to be able to bridge the gap between now and then. And we don't know how long that will be. So you need to be honest with yourself about that. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Makes sense.
Self-honesty, very important.
Yes. Yep.
Good luck. Good to talk to you again.
Yes, likewise. Thank you for the
You're
beautiful Christmas gift. Yeah.
welcome. And with that, folks, I want to say thank you for a wonderful evening with you. And thanks for a great 2024. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone again in 2025. Remember, if you have a question for me, I need to receive it by 9 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow evening. And it needs to have your first name, where you're from, your sun sign, or your birth date if you don't know your sun sign, and then your specific question. And make it direct. Make it a direct question. These were great questions tonight. Thank you so much, folks. I'm looking forward to next year with you. Bye-bye. And thank you, Lisa. I wouldn't know what to do without you. You're my right hand. Bye-bye.